might call me crazy, but this is a 61-inch length strip of marsh moss. And I just don't need it down by the marsh. So I'm thinking that I'm going to add it onto the puddle pond marsh. See what happens. We just took apart the final moss wall, so I could give the bride and the groom their initials. At the risk of this looking ridiculous and, you know, not exactly natural, I'm gonna afterthought this. Just kind of tuck it into what's already been transplanted. See what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Sometimes it grows in the midst of other plants, you know. So that's okay if it's not right up against the water. And if it's right up against other things. I kind of don't mind a bit. So I'll just tuck it in. And then I'm going to put some more of those little pins in there. And should I ever build a wall again, I might come calling for you. You might be reactivated. Active duty, so get comfortable, but not too comfortable. Let's get these leaves out of here at the risk of ending up with a fistful of ticks, which I really don't want. Just gonna work it in amongst yeah, because the marsh grass will grow up amongst, kind of give it some natural shade, so that's good. I don't mind that a bit. So now for some greening pins to hold it. These just go right through the chicken wire. Chicken wire, chicken wire. Makes me glad I didn't trim these too much. These greening pins. Must be rocks there. Okay. Push it in. Push it in. Push it in, and then scatter some natural to hide the rest of the chicken wire. And we'll just keep doing that all the way down. And then I can just trim off the zip ties. They'll stand out like a sore thumb. Since they're a different shade of green, the marsh moss is more yellowish brownish. Yeah, I don't think this is going anywhere, really. Come hang out, guys. Come hang over. Enjoy, enjoy. Just want it to look natural. I know, it's not. We are forcing marsh moss where it did not want to grow. We are telling it, you will grow here, you will thrive. For my viewing pleasure during my workday. My office window is over the garage. So just a little bit of that, a little bit of that. I mean, looks like it wants to grow here. Looks like it wants to be happy. You want to be happy here, don't you? Sure you do. Gonna come in down here, and moss will grow on top of things. Like, doesn't mind a rock, doesn't mind marsh grass. It'll do its thing. So even though we can still see a little chicken wire, eventually that will not be the case. This stuff is super dry though, because it was still on the wall with no access really to moisture except what I was spraying on it. So I'm gonna need to come down here with the hose and water it all in real good. Real good. And I'm also gonna reinforce it with some pins because of the heavy rain that does happen in Missouri. I really don't want it to go downstream after all this effort, you know. So just some extra. Those can be pulled right back out. When it's time. When it's time to be pulled back out. It settles in. So yeah, I'm super happy with it. It's just a little relocation project with a pit stop inside my house all winter. With a pit stop at a wedding. Now it's like back to nature. Let the bugs come, build their little homes in there, be protected, be happy. Looks like that one flipped over somehow. Flip it back over. Well, let's put it up there. I put some velvet moss up there and stick that up there. There's a chance of it getting washed away, right? Yeah. So we're good, I think. I'm really happy with where the trails are right now, despite the fact we've had zero rain. Well, maybe we had a tiny bit of rain last night, this morning. Not much. So once the April showers hit, it'll be April on Tuesday. That's gonna really green things up. It's gonna be less yellow brown and more bright green. I'm hoping, I'm praying. Seems like it always catches up, like if we don't get enough rain. Eventually it catches up. So we're up in Mount Branson. Our water trickles down to Lake Taneycomo. It goes through quite a bit of rock. We've got a great well with some great water. They call it 100-year-old water. I don't know what that means. But when I'm taking care of moss indoors or terrariums, I don't get distilled water or any kind of special water because my well water that comes out of my tap is phenomenal. It does really not need filtering, except every now and then when somebody's refinancing and they need to do a well cert. Then they drop some chlorine in there, which irritates me to no end. Then I need to filter it. Not a fan of chlorine. Oh, how funny. You can see the paper popping up. That strip of, yeah. I forgot about that. Well, if I had that to do again, I would have probably trimmed that off and not tucked it in there so tightly. But what we can do is just add a little bit of nature back in to cover that up. Okay, there you go. Like and subscribe for more of your mossing ideas. Love comments. I'm not a fan of negative comments and trolling comments, but come one, come all. If you wanna help my rankings by saying nasty things, I suppose I'll let you. So there's a branch down. Let's get rid of that. I have all these piles of sticks that I plan to haul off somewhere and burn. It never quite happens, but when the pond fills up, get a little waterfall there and it goes bam, 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 all the way down. Fills up the creek. Creek is solid rock on the bottom, and I love it. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to live here. All right. What do you think? Does it look naturalish? I guess we'll know when the pond fills up, huh?